All right, so I'm currently driving off to do my first ever solo overnight hike. I'm going up a walking track up a mountain called Mount Solitary, which is quite fitting for a solo hike. Driving there now, and see how we go. Got about a 2-hour drive ahead of me. All right, so begun walking, and yeah, on my way to the Golden Stairs at the moment. So this is Mount Solitary, and this is where I'll be going, up the right side of that mountain. All right, so I'm here at the top of the Golden Stairs. So aeroplane mode's on, and we'll begin the journey. So you've got Mount Solitary is the mountain on the left there, and then that little rise in the middle, I think, is Ruined Castle, which is kind of another spot you can stop along the way. And I think it's got some sick views up there. So we'll stop along there. So I don't really know why they call it the Golden Steps. I have a couple of theories. Is it because, like, when you get to the top, you feel golden because you've just like achieved a great feat climbing all those stairs, or is it like because the sun shines on them sometimes so they're golden? Who knows? No one probably. All right, so I have done the Golden Stairs, the descent part. It actually didn't take too long. I was wondering how long the Golden Stairs are. So it's 800 meters, and it's saying it'll take 45 minutes back on the way up. So, and then from here we turn right at the bottom of the stairs to go towards Ruined Castle and Mount Solitary. Let's go. This section of the walk is so cool. It's like rainforest, like vines and moss. So sick. And you can often find like lyrebirds and stuff around here. And then later on into the hike, it kind of turns more into, you know, that what you think of when you think of like Australian bush, like your gum trees and whatnot. So there was a landslide on this track recently. So certain bits I closed off for repairs. So I think I go up this way, but I'm actually not too sure. There's like stairs cut into this log across the path, which is kind of cool. All right, it's 12:30 and I'm pretty hungry, so I'm just gonna stop at this little clearing and, ooh, where's the camera? Have some lunch. Heating up me water for me coffee, hell yeah. Coffee and a wrap for lunch. Let's go. All right, so I just finished my lunch and I've come to the an offshoot in the path towards the Ruined Castle. So that's a 600 meter ascent up here, just to go check that out, and then I'll come back down and continue on my way up to Mount Solitary. Also, it's looking like right now Mount Solitary will be not so solitary. I've met a few people going up that way, but we'll see how it goes. So I think I'm almost at the top of Ruined Castle, and I'm bloody exhausted. And I only just had the thought that I'm about to come back down this trail, so I don't actually need to carry up a 20 kilogram bag. So I dumped the bag, and it's a lot easier. If only I thought of it from the beginning. For anyone that doesn't know, these are called honeysuckles, and you can actually eat them. So my mate taught me this. You take off the little green outside bit, then you pull off this little end bit here, and then you can suck on the little end there. That one was actually pretty flavorless, but normally they have like a kind of like a sweet little bit of nectar that you can suck out. Maybe I screwed it up, I don't know. So I'm guessing that this is Ruined Castle. Here it is from the other side. So I'm gonna climb up here. It's such a strange rock formation. I don't know if the camera really shows it, but it kind of like rolls down. It's like really like curvy. All right, so while I was up on that rock before, I thought that was Ruined Castle, but then I saw in the distance what is actually Ruined Castle, and that's what I'm up on top of right now. And it's just full 360-degree views. So incredible, you can see so far around. And behind me there, that's Mount Solitary. And I'm standing on this rock here, and I can kind of see why they call it Ruined Castle. Like, we've got another tower over there, another tower that way. Yeah, it's cool. Coming back from Ruined Castle, and I actually think I could have kept going towards Mount Solitary possibly, but I left my bag behind, so I have to go back and grab that. My bag, I was kind of stressing a little bit that I'd put it in like a stupid place and I wasn't going to be able to find it again, but here she is. All right, so I've come back from the track after Ruined Castle, and I'm back on the path towards Mount Solitary. I didn't actually stop to read the sign, but I think it's around about 3.5 k's to go. So yeah, I think around 3.5 k's to go, and the time's, it's only 2 o'clock, so making good time. All right, so I've been walking along this part of the track for a little while. I've come to this sign saying that Ruined Castle is up this way. So it looks like I actually could have kept going along the Ruined Castle path and then continued onto this track. But anyway, all right, so I've been walking along and just started to go into a gentle incline. So I think from here, it's just about all uphill. All right, it's around like 2:40 to 2:45. So I'm just having a little afternoon snack, little break, some water, and then I'll continue on towards the top. I don't think I should be super far off. Sunscreen every 2 hours. Mum will be very proud of me when she sees this. Slip, slop, slap, kids, and seek and slide. All right, enough sitting around. I'm hydrated, I'm fed. Let's press on, mofos. All right, so here is the first bit of kind of a climb. It's nothing hectic, but it's a climb nonetheless. So the whole way up this side of Mount Solitary, there's just heaps of little kind of rocks to stand on and appreciate the view. If we zoom in here, we can see where we just came from, Ruined Castle, right in the center there. Another little climb between these two rocks. Alrighty, so after a bit of pretty steep climbing, I'm up to the top bit, and it's mostly flat from here until I get to the camp spot that I want to get to. So the trail has just kind of like ended here, so I don't particularly know where to keep going, but I'll figure it out. All right, I've found it again. There was just like a log blocking the path, so we're back on track, baby.
Ruined Castle. It was not nearly as nice as it.
Okay, so the campsite that I wanted to camp at, unfortunately already had a couple people in it. So I've just trekked a little bit further on and found a spot I've never come to before, but I think it'll be still pretty sick. Still got an awesome view. And I think I can set up my hammock between that tree and this tree. And then I'll just wake up to that view. All right, so it's time to set up my my hammock. I've set up the hammock before. I've never done the bug net or the rain tarp. I probably should have before I came out here, but I reckon I can figure it out. So this is a time lapse of me setting up the hammock. So I've got it initially up there, but it looks like I've sat in it and realised it's a bit uneven. So I've had to make some adjustments. All right, my hammock's set up. This is just the best after a long hike. Just being able to put your feet up. Like, what? This is where I get to chill. So good. All right, I felt like I could actually fall asleep in that hammock, but I need to get my bug net and rain tarp set up. Let's go. And here is another time lapse showing me setting up my fly net. All right, and there is my bug net set up. No coming in bugs. It was actually pretty easy to set up considering I'd never done it before. The only thing is the only knots that I know are just like the simple knot that everyone knows and a bow tie. So I just kind of had to make up something, but it's working, so I'm happy. All right, so bug net's up. Now I just got to put rain tarp up, which I'm slightly less prepared for, but let's give it a go. And here's the time lapse showing me putting up my tarp. Now, I honestly have no idea what I was doing here. This is just a bit of a mess. And looking back on this now that I know how to set up the tarp, yeah, this was just abysmal. Okay, so this took me way too long to figure out. And it's not like perfectly correct, but it'll do. Yeah, I just need to like watch a video to figure out how to do it properly, but it'll do for tonight. I just want to relax now. All right, so living arrangements are all set up, so now I'm going to chill and have some dinner and watch the sunset. All right. It's morning time. I actually forgot to even film anything going to bed. I was just so tired. I was so tired. I just cast it. The hammock was the most comfortable sleep. Like, just slept right through the night. It did rain for a little bit, but the tarp seems to have held up nicely. Just currently heating myself up some water for a coffee, some nuts and a banana for breakfast. I actually thought I was going to get quite scared come night time, but it turned out to be completely fine. Like, I just kind of fell straight asleep, and I did get slightly concerned that I had not put the tarp out good enough and I was going to get wet and cold, but yeah, completely fine. Had an amazing sleep. And so it's around 8:30 now. I'm gonna have some brekkie, head on out. I think it should be quicker getting out than it was getting in. Like, for starters, I won't be stopping at Ruined Castle. Just go straight back to the Golden Stairs. All right, brekkie's finished, so time to pack up and get on out of here. All right, I'm all packed up. There's my bag there. So time to head off. I'm gonna time myself for the way back because on the way here, I stopped at Ruined Castle and I had heaps of breaks and stuff, so it took a long time. But I'm gonna see how quick I can get back for this one. All right, so it's been an hour and 47 minutes and I'm down the bottom of the Golden Stairs, which is like, I think roughly 7Ks I've done. So I'm pretty happy with that. Gonna have some lunch and a coffee and then conquer these bloody stairs. All right, start my journey up Golden Stairs. It's kind of crazy to look back on where you've come from. Like, would have been where that first little dip of the mountain is, and then all the way to here. All right, so I made it to the top of the Golden Stairs. I did it in about, I want to say about 25 minutes. And for the whole hike back, hang on, I need to check. For the whole hike, 2 hours and 41 minutes. So I think I'm pretty happy with that. Now just doing this little 2K walk back to my car and hit the road. All right, I have made it back to my car, which is still here. It doesn't lock at the moment, so I was like, oh my God, please still be here when I get back. But it's here, so everything's coming up Millhouse. All right, so hike finished. Looking back on it, it was a great time, interesting experience. Some things I would do differently, learn how to set up my stuff before I go out. And I already really knew that. I was just too lazy to actually try and do it before I went. So yeah, first solo hike done. Can check that off the list. Yeah, sweet.